Wow, hey, I'm back! So 2017 was the best year in video games, for the most part, since like 1998. We had the best console Nintendo's put out in decades, hit after hit after hit across the board. There just wasn't enough time to play everything. It seemed like every time you turned around, someone was dropping another stellar title that demanded your attention and money. Like in 2016, I didn't get to play everything 2017 had to offer, but what I did is on this list. And unlike last time, every game on here is from last year, which is pretty neato. Without further ado, it's the definitively not definitive list of 2017. Number 10. Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse 2. Okay, now wait, before you exit this video or call me a liar, let me explain. This is specifically the Switch version, which I'm told is the worst way to play this game. That may very well be the case, but considering I sunk an extraordinary amount of hours into this game due to the portability aspect, speaks volumes about both the Switch and the game itself. This game is crammed with things to do, and is continuing to get updates that include huge chunks of content. Xenoverse 2 is, in many ways, a sort of light MMORPG that just works. It may be rough around the edges and take some time to get things going, but Xenoverse has that right blend of customization and unlockables that keep you yearning to kick more people in the face to get as strong as you can possibly be. Number 9. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. PUBG is, on the surface, everything that I can't stand out of a video game. It very much looks like a third-person take on a military shooter, but that's far and away from what the game truly is. The insane, lightning-fast matchmaking ensures that you're never waiting to get back into the fray, and the tension from moment to moment is almost too much to handle. You're constantly watching your back, attempting to get the best artillery you can and weigh your options of fight or flight. But playing with friends is what really makes this game for me. Partying up and joining with other squads is a blast, and all the stupid shenanigans that can, and will, happen throughout your playthrough makes for an exhilarating and hilarious time. Number 8. Puyo Tetris. What happens when you take two highly addictive games and shove them in a blender? A mess of plastic and broken board pieces mostly, like what do you expect? But if you skip the dumbass metaphor, you get Puyo Tetris. This game lacks a lot of balance in many aspects, and that's a-okay. The cutesy story mode is a goofy romp that's enjoyable to play through, and the mashup of Tetris and Puyo works surprisingly well. Puyo Tetris features a surprising amount of game modes and unlockables, from characters to different skins for the Tetris and Puyo pieces. It's also the ultimate pick-up-and-play game, right down from the title screen, where you can choose to quickly hop into a game of Puyo or Tetris if you wish. That alone makes it a perfect title for the Switch, when you just need something to kill a few minutes of your time. Number 7. Yakuza 0. The Yakuza series is the epitome of a video game embracing the art form. One moment you're watching this gripping tale about the seedy underworld of crime and honor in Japan. The next, you're doing karaoke or dancing or managing a nightclub or playing Space Harry, and then boom, back to decking guys in the face and watching those grizzled gangsters cutting off their pinky. Yakuza 0 is a video game in every sense of the word in that it simply couldn't work in any other way, and that's a plus to both itself and video games as a whole. Number 6. Steamworld Dig 2. Metroid set the stage for creating a world that requires exploring and lacks a linear structure, allowing the player to become immersed in every world they visit. Meanwhile, Minecraft taught us to smash blocks to get materials and then use those to ride pigs and go to hell. Steamworld Dig 2 marries both of these ideas into this beautiful, challenging title that came out with very little fanfare. The way that you manipulate the world to progress is permanently etched within itself, for better or worse, meaning every move you make can either hamper or help your progress. This, combined with dynamic upgrades and an intriguing plot, makes Steamworld Dig 2 a match made in indie heaven. Number 5. A Hat in Time. Oh yeah, here we go, top 5. A Hat in Time is an adorable little title that shows how 3D platforming should be done. A Hat in Time features 4 very distinct chapters with a ton of variety in objectives and locales. The control is superb, while the visuals harken back to Super Mario Sunshine both in terms of color and lighting. Every nook and cranny of this game oozes charm, especially the lead character, Hat Kid. The only potential downside would be the voice acting, and even then, most of the characters are at least passable. I've purposely not 100% this game yet in hopes that it'll make its way to the Switch, where, honestly, this game absolutely belongs. Number 4. Sonic Mania. Sometimes a game comes out and it just feels soulless, like no love went into making it, and this was just another paycheck for those involved. Sonic Mania is the polar opposite of this in literally every aspect. This is, hands down, the best Sonic game to come out in 23 years. Mania features some of the tightest level designs the series has ever seen, gorgeous sprite work that looks like it was plucked right off the Sega Saturn, stellar music. The entire package is one great big return to near perfection for the series. Here's hoping we hear something about a completely original sequel sometime this year. Number 3, Persona 5. I hate like 98% of JRPGs, and that number goes up whenever you take Nintendo out of the mix. I feel like most of these games feature characters who can't talk like normal human beings, obnoxiously dragged out plots, and boring gameplay that hardly features any interaction from the player. Persona 5 features some of these things, and yet it hooks you in so deep in its world with some fantastic characters and an undeniable sense of style and grace that's unheard of. A 100-hour running time is just crazy for me, and yet Persona 5's charm, presentation, and captivating narrative makes what would otherwise be a bland experience into an unforgettable one. Number 2, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. When I played Breath of the Wild at E3 in 2016, I knew it was going to be something truly special, but I wasn't ready for how it was going to completely revolutionize the open world concept. Even the most menial of tasks, like running and climbing, are engaging in ways that haven't been done before. Breath of the Wild might be the first open world game where you feel the size and scope of the world, where exploring doesn't feel like a chore, but something that causes you to constantly find new villages, items, all sorts of hidden things. If you see a mountain, or a tower, or a castle, you can go to it. You can climb it. You can solve the puzzles by nearly any means necessary. This is a game that gives the player all the tools up front and says, do it your way. The fact that you can go to the final boss from the very beginning is a ballsy move, but it shows how truly open this game is. Open world titles are nothing new, but to give the player a truly open experience that's more than just going from point A to point B on a map, to let them play how they want, is something companies have been working on doing for years, and leave it to Nintendo to knock it out of the park their very first try. And number 1, Super Mario Odyssey. You had to know it was coming after Zelda. Mario Odyssey is the entree to Zelda's appetizer. Nintendo took everything that made the games like Galaxy 2, Sunshine, and 64 so great and ups the ante to an impossible degree. At no point do you feel like you've lost control of Mario. The game rewards you for understanding how to play it effectively, never once feeling unfair, but constantly feeling challenging and above all, fun. Odyssey is the new standard in 3D platforming and what video games should strive to be, constantly impressing and surprising the player at every turn through the use of sound, graphics, gameplay. Everything in Odyssey feels so thought out, with every possibility of what a player could do to complete an objective accounted for. The normal Mario tropes feel like they've been flipped on their head, and you can tell the developers had tons of fun creating huge open worlds that are filled with tiny challenges that put the player and their skills to the test. Odyssey is the game that makes the Switch an absolute must-have, and it's undeniable proof that Nintendo still has their mojo when it comes to making video games. 2017 was an insane year for video games, many of which weren't on this list, but certainly deserved a spot. The future for the industry looks incredibly bright, with new titles on the horizon like Spider-Man, Dragon Ball FighterZ, and hopefully some word on Smash Bros. And Pokemon. Here's hoping that 2017 is an even stronger year than the last, and we can continue gaming on till the end of time.
Odyssey,